Buongiorno, welcome to my channel. My name is Stefania if you are new here. So, today we are full of dry shampoo. But anyways, today we are going to be talking about my 2022 favorites. I'm like, that's right? 2022. So we're going to kind of go over products that I really liked. You guys know I have not been doing a full face of makeup most of the time now. So we're really going to talk about products that are great if you're kind of like me, where you just like basics and want products that work on your skin really well without wearing foundation, concealer, and all that stuff. So hopefully it's still useful. But yeah, these are the best of 2022. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so like I said, let's start off with things I wear. We're gonna like do two sections. So we're gonna kind of do the stuff that I wear without foundation, concealer, you know, full face of makeup, and then we'll go into when I do a full face of makeup, which products I really loved. And a lot of these you guys will know are true favorites because they're kind of all I've talked about. Or they're from previous years where that is just stayed, and I don't see a point of messing with a good thing, you know? New is always not the better. So, and because, you know, money-wise, it just didn't work out for me this year where I was like, ooh, I can buy that and that and that, you know? So, just the truth of the matter. Things are getting expensive. I feel like every single brand is coming out with like a new, like, we're increasing our prices. And I'm like, really? Are you sure about that? Like, I get that things are costing more, but I mean, that was already a hefty price before. And now it's like, it's out of the question. Like, bleh. Anyways, so let's start off. So when I am every day, no, you know, like I said, no foundation, anything like that. My base products, you know, we're not going to go into my skincare. I would say skincare, my birth control is my best skincare. It is, I feel like everyone's in this like thing of like hating birth control right now. For me, it is the only thing that keeps my acne like away. You know, even when I had gotten off birth control, I was on like spironolactone and all these things. And I was just, once I was done like with the baby and stuff, I was like, yes, bring back my birth control. And I don't feel bad about that. So everyone makes their own decisions. But for me, it was the best choice. Side note, sorry about the rant. I still Tatcha Dewy Skin Mist. If you want dewy skin, this is your best friend. Would I recommend it for oily skin? No. But if you're like me, who just, you know, you're on the normal dry side and you just want your skin to look that nice, moisturized, shiny. I will say sometimes with Tatcha products, it's not, like especially with this one, it's not like my skin feels dry after, but a lot of the time I'm like, Tatcha has the best packaging. It makes you feel luxurious. Do I feel like it's the best in terms of like improving my skin? Not so much, but I don't really care because for me, I just love the way that this makes my skin look. So sometimes that's okay, you know? Everything is different for different purposes, but I wear this as my, you know, with no makeup every day, and then I also use this as my base when I am wearing makeup. And then sticking with it, if you like a dewy skin look, the Tula sunscreen. I haven't tried anything else from Tula, but I do really like this Protect and Glow. I think I got it at like Ulta sale, like 21 Days of Beauty, but it does give that very nice like look to the skin. So again, I wouldn't recommend it for oily skin, but if you're on the drier side, this is a really, really good one. By far not matte. It doesn't really like, it leaves your skin, I wouldn't say, it's shiny. I do have the Super Goop, which I have yet to try, so I'm really excited about opening that up, but I don't want to open up a million sunscreens. That's a lie. I forgot I bought it. Until we were talking about sunscreen, I was like, oh, I bought another one. But again, I got the glowy one, so we'll see. But yeah, those are definitely my must-haves in terms of just making my skin look nice. So brow products, with or without makeup, is pretty much the same. My brow cheat from Charlotte Tillbury is my favorite. It has kind of like a triangle like tip. So I really like this. And then it also like you can take this off and get refills. So I actually have done that where I'm like, okay, I'm getting refills. I was a little bit nervous at first because the original box came with a full size and like an extra one. But the extra one didn't come with like a lid or anything. And I'm like, that's going to dry out by the time I get to it. And luckily it did not. So, but I have bought many of the little top refills, which I really like being able to do. And then it comes with like the spoolie on the other side. if I'm in a rush, I do like Benefit, Gimme Brow, like a lot of the Benefit products, because they're constantly going through like Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sales, stuff like that. They're great. Like I said, this is my favorite. I just feel like I like the look of it better, but I do use those, like they're a tried and true, and I do use them quite a bit, especially because, you know, you can get them for 10, 12 bucks. So just that, you know, Charlotte Tillbury is expensive. And then that's pretty much it. I do have my Huda Beauty, the very, very thin one, and I kind of just use it at the like top because it is very hair-like strokes, but that thing goes fast. Like, so I really, really only use it when like I'm gonna spend more than 2 minutes on my brows, which is not that often. And so, you know, I've given up on a few things in life, and having perfect brows is one of them. So there you have it. Now, like I said, I don't generally wear concealer if I'm not wearing foundation, but I have this medium shade 2. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. It's like the under eye. What is this called? It's telling me where it's made. It's the brightening corrector. And I can use this, like, obviously it depends on your skin tone, and it does have multiple shades, but this is like the peachy shade. I can use it just like the tiniest bit, especially if I have like bags under my eyes and there's some color. I will dip into this. It lasts so long because I really only use like that much, but it just blends out really nicely, and it gives my eyes like, you know, some life. I don't look like I haven't slept in days, and you can see like it just blends in perfectly. So if you need a little bit of a pick-me-up, like that's my go-to, rather than trying to use a concealer and match it and make it not look weird when you're not wearing everything else. And then blushes. I love this Giorgio Armani blush. This is the shade 51. And one, I love the packaging, but for some reason this blush just works on me on an everyday basis with no makeup. And it's not a cream, surprisingly, because I feel like creams generally look a little bit better. But this, I just blend it in with my finger. It is so smooth. I feel like the shades are always sold out, which is really annoying. And I feel like it's been that way for like over a year, because I always look for a sale, like to get a few more shades. But it's like a very corally type shade. Like I said, it's not that much, but again, that's why I like it when I'm not wearing a full face of makeup, because, you know, but it doesn't look powdery or anything else on the skin. And then the other one I really have been enjoying are Nudestix. So I don't know what took me so long to try Nudestix. I think it's because I started out with trying like the shadows, and they just weren't for me. Like the sticks, like eye sticks, I just did not, they weren't for me. But these, like I said, I think Ulta had like 50% off all of them. So I got so many shades, but they blend out really easily. Any cream products, rose ink blushes, these, I just feel like they work a lot better if you're not wearing makeup. But neither one of them sticks to my dry patches, so that's a big thing, was just making sure it doesn't look, you know, weird. This is the shade Tiger Lily. It's just a really nice coral, and you can build up the intensity, but they are a little bit sticky, but not enough to where it's like gonna bother me. But bold, I feel like people, you know, like I said, these are like products that have been around for a long time, and I feel like that's the reason why. They're just good, and they do the job, and that's all I need. And then highlighters. So I have two here that work great with makeup, without makeup, whatever your deal is, that aren't too intense where it looks odd. So this is the Merit Beauty Bounce, and it has such a nice formula. It comes in a stick, but it's not too intense or anything like that. It's right there, and it just has a really pretty shift. But I feel like especially with highlighters, I definitely prefer a cream or a liquid when I'm not wearing foundation. It just looks better, I think, and a little bit more natural. So if you're looking for, you know, a not super intense highlighter, and sometimes I'll literally just wear the highlighter, and that's all I'll wear on my face, and I still feel a little bit better than I did without anything. And then a huge love has been this Lisa Eldridge. I can hands down say this was my favorite product from Lisa Eldridge that she's come out with. And that is her Liquid Glow. So it's thinner. I mean, I guess you could use it as, you know, a mixer and stuff. I don't really do any of those things. But it's got a giant doe foot. I like it more than like the Charlotte Tilbury. I like it more than the Glow by Auric. Like, It's just nice and thin, but I do kind of find it more as like a strictly like a highlighter than, you know, anything else. It is such a huge thing. I mean, obviously this Eldridge is pricey, but if I was going to recommend one product from her to spend your money on, it would be this. And I have the shade Crystal Nebula. I do want to get more shades, but you know, like I said, they're pricey, and obviously, like, how am I going to go through that bottle? Like, you really need a drop. So you have the Bounce, and then you have Lisa Eldridge. Lisa Eldridge is a little bit more intense, so it kind of just depends on what you're looking for. All right, lip category. This one's always hard. I feel like there's always a lot, but I really stuck to a lot of glosses and hydrating formulas this year. I would definitely recommend the Summer Fridays. They do have tinted ones, which I do also love, but this is just like the clear vanilla one, and it just glides on so nicely. My lips feel so much better. I have been using the Lawless like little pot before bed. That's kind of replaced my Laneige. I don't think I'm really a huge fan of the Laneige anymore, to be honest, but it's fairly new. I've only had it for a few months, so that's why I didn't want to put it in this video. But yes, any of the Summer Friday shades, I really love these. And then the Lawless Forget the Filler are also ones I love. I will say with the Lawless, like, the other one I was going to mention is the Merit Beauty. I always talk about these. But these are more if you want color. Like, they're very hydrating, but they're going to actually have a nice amount of color to them. Whereas the Lawless, like, I always buy the mini sets, and I can't really tell the difference between any of the shades. Like, once they're on, they kind of all give me more of like a clear gloss. So it's not that I don't like them or anything like that. I love them. Obviously, they're my favorites, but it just depends on which one you're looking for. If you want an actual tint, I would go with this. If you want just a hydrating formula that makes your lips look really nice, then go with the Lawless. Or go with both, you know, because they're on my recommendations for a reason. And then the last one I want to mention is the Tower 28 lip glosses. These are my favorite. I got the holiday set, but there's a shade for everyone. They're priced well. I feel like the Summer Fridays and Lawless are a little bit expensive for lip products, but I feel like that's a lot. Like lip oils, like what makes them so expensive? I don't know. But yeah, I really like these Tower 28 ones, and they give a good amount of shade. It's still not as much as this one, but more than, like, it's not a clear gloss, you know? So I really like those. So that rounds up all the products I like when I'm not wearing foundation. Now we'll get into like eye products and things I like, bronzers, all that stuff. All right, I'm gonna quickly gloss over my base products because they really haven't changed. Still, Pat Mcgrath, my favorite by far. Always wait for a sale. I never buy these full price because they are, you know, $60+. Would I still pay the $60+? Absolutely. I love this. I love the way it feels on my skin. I haven't found a skin tint that I love where I'm like, oh, it doesn't feel like I'm wearing a full face of foundation. For me, I think I'm in the rare category where, like, I can't relax at home with a full face of makeup on. I just can't. It's like wearing a bra. I just can't do it. And I feel like I don't like a lot of things on my face. So I really like that this is lightweight. It's luminous. It looks better as the day goes on. I could talk about, like, yeah, that was in this favorites last year. I always talk about it, so I'll shut my mouth. I still use the concealer from Pat Mcgrath. I have a Too Faced concealer. I'm not a huge, like, concealer is concealer to me. Yes, there's ones that crease really badly, but I can't say that I found one that I'm just like, it has blown me away where I even think to, like, mention it. The ones I have work, and so I use them. That's about it. So yeah, nothing to really write home about there. I will say under eye powder, same Pat Mcgrath Labs, the same like medium Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection blurring under eye. I have that on today. I do really like this. If I have a rough skin day, I could even wear, like, it's such a translucent powder where I will wear it if I'm really oily or something this summer without foundation. Charlotte Tillbury is also still another just well-tested, you're not going to waste your money on. I feel like this is just a little bit thinner, but they both, you know, it just depends if you want more coverage or not. Formula-wise, though, those are definitely my two favorites for under eye, chin, T-zone type situation. Bronzers I had a hard time picking. I feel like I have so many good formulas now that, I just kind of have like 5 I rotate between, and I wouldn't say like one necessarily sticks out more than the others. I do really like the Glowish. So this is the shade 03 Tan Light. I like the little swirly thing. It sits nicely on the skin. But yeah, it's a good formula. Like I said, I just kind of have quite a few bronzers, but that is the tone of that. Huda Caramel. I still don't love this box packaging. It is what it is, right? I think now they just will never change because that's kind of like their trademark, even though I don't feel like a lot of people enjoy it. But this caramel shade is another favorite. It's really similar to, I want to say Fenty Cutie. So I like both, obviously. Fenty bronzers are another really great one. But yeah, you can see this one is a little bit darker than this one, a little bit different in tone. I am definitely that type of person that will be like, they are completely different, even though they're like a touch different. The LYS Beauty is another one I use a ton of. It's actually what I have on my face. And of course, I moved it. So this is the LYS in the shade Courage. This is probably my deepest one, but it still works. I just can't go super heavy-handed. I do have it on my face right now, layered over their cream. Their cream bronzer stick is great, but I like bronzer sticks, that one, the mirror, I've only had them since November, so I don't want to throw them in here. But yeah, that one is definitely a little bit deeper. It's this bottom one here. But yes, I also use the Charlotte Tillbury bronzer, my Makeup by Mario bronzer. I just feel like I have a nice little collection of bronzers that I really like, and I just switch between whichever one I grab first, kind of thing. And then if I want a cream one, the shade Teddy for Fenty is great. Another cream option is, I actually really love the Tarte one, but that is the shade for Fenty that I really like in the cream formula. Okay, I forgot to bring out my Patrick Ta. I have the old Patrick Ta blush palette. I will say I use that pretty often, but kind of the ones I just talked about are the ones I've been using. I don't really have necessarily like a favorite blush of the year. I just, yeah, those are kind of like the formulas I like, but nothing that I'm like, I really need to tell them about this specific color. Eyes. So I haven't really been into palettes a lot lately. I just, you know, I have not picked up a lot. I just kind of was like, I'm getting overwhelmed, and I feel like I have so many that just need some love, you know? So I would say the ones I reach for most is definitely this Beautopsy palette. No matter, you know, I just love how easy this is to work with. Like you know, you can really create whatever you want. It does work where you can like use this as a blush and contour and face and everything. I don't generally do that, but if I'm like in a rush, it totally works, and I do. But eye-wise, I just love how customizable this is. So you can mix any shades, you can make them deeper, you can make them lighter, you can change the tone. Like, I really, really still enjoy this palette, and it barely looks used, which is crazy because I promise I use this one all the time. Even if I just want like a center crease shade, I usually go in with these ones. And then I love this like reddish tone into this like really dark maroon. Like, it's just, formula wise, it's great. And then what I find myself reaching for is like, you know, if I want a little sparkle. I will also mention ABH palettes. I feel like ABH, a lot of people are like, oh, they're boring, they've been out for, you know, people don't get as excited about it anymore. But anytime I'm reaching for doing my makeup or taking a trip or going somewhere, I generally will bring an ABH palette, because I know that no matter what, like, I can make something look nice and make it work. So those will, I think, forever be a favorite because they're just solid. You know, the formula never fails. Any of them, really. I don't really have like a preference on, I'm just talking about like normal ABH, like velvet cover palettes. So if I am doing a pretty neutral look and I want something, I have the shade Angelica from Lisa Eldridge. I really like these. They are liquid, but I will say I've had these for quite some time and they're not drying out, which is a huge thing. I love formulas like this, but a lot of them dry out really fast and then you're not getting your money's worth, and it just kind of sucks. Like my Stila ones, love, but I don't use them up in time. So I'm really happy that these are like this, and she's got a good shade range, but this is kind of what that looks like. So it just has such a pretty reflect. I don't know if you guys can like really see a color to it. But I have a few of the shades. There's like a really nice orangey one that I love. But I'll even just put this like right underneath my eye just to kind of give a little bit of glitter. And I really, really like the formula of these. And then I have this Charlotte Tillbury Eyes to Mesmerize in the shade Rose Gold. This is another one where I don't have to do a lot to at all. And I just kind of do a full like lid with it, you know? And I feel like it still looks really nice. It looks, you know, it's just a gorgeous color. I love this shade. Let me turn down the lighting so you guys can really see these shades. So now you can really see, like, that's the Rose Gold, and then you have the Angelica from Lisa Eldridge. But those are kind of where I live now. You know, it's such a pretty reflect. You can tap Pat Mcgrath. Of course, those are still my favorite. But I never love the mattes and the palettes. So I will do something like this, reach into like one of my big Pat Mcgrath palettes, grab one of the really special shimmery shades, and I'm good to go. Honorable mentions for eyeliners would be the Makeup by Mario liner. This is in the soft brown shade. I never use this. It comes with a brush on the other side. Yeah, I don't really use it. I still have a lot of Marc Jacobs ones. Obviously, they're not making them anymore. But yeah, this is just a really nice soft brown color. It blends out really well. And yeah, not much to say about it. I will mention these Melt Cosmetic ones. I have not had them for that long. This is a Slick Waterline. I just figured I'd mention them because I have been using them. And they're very nice for like, they're just a little bit more unique than shades that you usually get. So like this one is like a mustardy shade, very creamy. They do stay in my waterline. I don't have any issues with like my eyes being sensitive to them. This is the shade Olive. But yeah, I mean, you don't really see that type of shade very many places. So it does, you know, kind of do the same thing where it brightens. It's in my waterline right now. I just like it as another option as opposed to just a brown or a black. So, and I feel like it goes with pretty much every look, but I have a few of these. I also have the shade Caramel. I really like these. I just feel like there's something different to kind of add to your collection. And then my last eye product would be the Jaclyn Hill's. These are the loose highlighters in the shade Balm specifically. It looks really good. It's very intense if you want that type of look. So it just depends, but I mostly just use these for inner corner. So these are gonna last me forever. But yes, I just like them. I feel like they are such a nice brightener for that. I have one that's a little bit lighter. I kind of just switch off between what shade I want. But like I said, super intense, but I just grab a tiny little brush and that's my inner corner highlight on most days because I just feel like you can't beat that. I still need sparkly things, you know? Lips. I don't have a lot in the lip category other than the ones I just mentioned because those are just, you know, the ones I wear without makeup. Obviously, I can wear with a full face of makeup. If I was going to say for lip liners, I have been really into, same thing as always, the Pat Mcgrath liners I think are by far my favorite. And then I've been really into this Huda Beauty Honey Beige, which is the one I have on my lips right now. So kind of different tones. Let's see, this is the shade, any of the Pat Mcgrath ones though, not even necessarily the shade that I just had. Why did I do this like this? Okay. There we go. So the lighter one is the Huda Beauty Honey Beige, and then the deeper one is obviously the Pat Mcgrath. But super natural, contour. There's just a lot of really great Pat Mcgrath shades that I love. And then lipsticks. I wouldn't say I necessarily had a favorite. I never talk about it. If I was going to pick one like nude lipstick for the rest of my life, it would be Tom Ford Spanish Pink rest of my life. But it's so expensive and it's just so expensive. But I would buy that shade over and over and over again. So yeah, I don't talk about it just because I'm like, ow, price-wise. But it's just, I wore it on my wedding day. I don't know, that shade just has something special, even though it's just a pink nude. But another shade that I've really been loving is Magnolia by Wayne Goss. I really like these creamy formulas. I'm going to put a little bit more on. I did layer it a little bit with Lively from Rare Beauty, but this is such a pretty spring shade. It's just, oh, it's so pretty. So that is the shade right there from Wayne Goss, Magnolia. And then I would say that's pretty much it. For brushes, my Sonia G brushes, yes, they're expensive. Do I think they're absolutely worth the price? Yeah. I mean, I adore them. I haven't added to my collection this year, which makes me a little bit sad because they are so pricey, but hands down, they're one of my best. Like, I just feel special when I get to use them. And then I really like a few of the Patrick Ta. I didn't like the contour brush, but the blush brush, and then I have talked about his, I know I just used this for an eye look. There we go. His one eyeshadow brush is great. Like, I love both of these. So if you're looking for more like the synthetic line that are a little bit more affordable, I feel like these are really nice. They have a nice amount of weight. They've lasted. It's not shedding everywhere. So I just thought I would mention those. And then for cream products, I've been really liking the Huda Beauty. This is the Face and Sculpt shade brush. I really only use this side. Sometimes dual-ended brushes kind of freak me out because I just feel like they get dirty faster because like I can't put it in anything. But I do really enjoy this brush. But yeah, guys, that is it for me. I know I didn't like talk about every specific product. Like, I don't think I mentioned a mascara and stuff because I don't really use, I don't use mascara. So I just wanted to make sure I recommended things that I'm like, these are 100% the things that I reach for, love, would repurchase, would recommend, all the good stuff. So yeah, that felt good. I'm like, okay. But yeah, let me know what your guys' favorite products were. If any of yours matched up, have you guys tried any of these? What are your thoughts? And yeah, I want to hear what your guys' favorite product was from 2022. Hopefully 2023, we'll see what it brings. I'm excited to see what the new makeup trends are. And I feel like every year is like kind of the year of blushes, the bronzers, we have all different kinds of things. So it'll be interesting to see what the next wave of stuff is. But yeah, that is it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.